The 80-20 rule to prioritizing. Episode 163, Marketing for Owners, the podcast with me, John. Hello. Yes, another day, another tip, something to help you get through your day, to get some more sales or to find time to do more marketing or to do the things you enjoy. That's what we teach here, and all for free. Who'd have thunk? Anyway, 80-20 rule to prioritizing. In our day, we are busy. We have to write emails, read emails, do social media. We've got to write posts. We've got to visit clients. We've got to deal with co-workers. But with all these things, how do we prioritize? And where do we prioritize? Now, you must have heard of the 80-20 rule. Don't tell me you haven't. I don't believe you. Just imagine you have. Quite simply, 80% of the benefit comes from 20%. So you can apply it to pretty much anything. It did loads of research, and although it's not always exactly that, hey, it's a good average. I think they didn't call it the 90-10, they called it the 80-20. So if you take the things that you do in the day, it's quite handy to know what you do. Have you ever gone through an exercise where you've written them down? No? Ooh, okay, let's start with that. Right, grab a piece of paper, just a simple piece of paper. You don't need any particular form. Just put some lines across. Lined paper would be much more simple. Well thought, John. Quite simply, everything you do, such as answer an email, just write it down. Just through the day. Keep that note next to you and just simply write it down through the day. Answer a phone call from a client. Get that kind of detail. Answer a phone call from a colleague. Yeah, there's going to be a difference. Just write it down. Then do that. Ideally, you'll do that for a couple of days, 3 days or something like that. Then what you're going to do is, on the other side of the paper, you're going to write down whether it's a priority or an admin task or something like that. There's another method. Some people would apply a $10, $100, $1,000 an hour benefit. So in other words, if it's a $10 an hour thing, perhaps you shouldn't be doing it. If it's something you can get someone for $10 an hour to do, if it's something that you could outsource for $100 an hour, or if it's something that is going to earn $1,000 an hour, you should be doing it. All that kind of thing. Anyway, get to learn what you do in the day and what tasks are taking up your time. Now, once you know that, you can start to decide what is going to get the most bang for your buck. Now, some things have to be done, but quite often you can get someone else to do them. So always be thinking, do you need to be doing it? There are many jobs. Some are not an instant hit. Of course, visiting a client, and if you know that you convert 3 or 4 out of every 5 clients that you visit, get visiting clients. However, if it's a long-term game where it's going to take 5 or 6 visits with those clients, but you still get those kind of conversion figures, it's a long-term game, but it's still worth doing. So think to yourself, is it worth me answering admin emails? Is it worth me allowing colleagues to interrupt me at any given time? Interrupt my day, interrupt my flow, things like that. Now, if you start to prioritize your time and decide in blocks what you're going to do and what you're not going to do, if you can pick 20% of the tasks, the ones that get 80% of the value or of the result that you're after, whether it's income or progress, etc., or just free time, something like that, work on those 20%, work on them hard, and make an effort to get rid of the other 80%. There are people in your company who can do it. And if they're not in your company, if you work for just you, there are VAs, virtual assistants, in countries far and wide, and there'll be VAs in your local town. You don't have to think of sending it off to India or the Philippines every single time. People are going to help. Okay, that's my advice for today. Something that you can practice over and over. You'll get good at it, and then you'll find your days are much more effective. Today is a Wednesday, and on Wednesdays we like to point out someone who's ideal to follow on social media and around the blogs. And today, no exception. Today is for the wonderful Mari Smith. Mari spelled M-A-R-I. Her Twitter handle is @MariSmith. Her website is marismith.com, and from there you'll find lots of her other properties. Now, Mari is acknowledged as one of the leading Facebook experts. However, if you're going to be brilliant at Facebook, you're going to be brilliant at Twitter, at LinkedIn, at all the social, because it's just in your DNA. With Mari Smith, it's in her DNA. She is a sort of Canadian, come Scottish, come San Diego, which is where she lives now, kind of person. She's a bundle of fun. She's fantastic. She's got a great smile and very infectious. Follow everything she does. She is a true genius of the art of social media.